Hi folks, this is Jeremy from RetroFat, and today we're going up the stairs. On this channel, I talk about pop culture and weight loss. What's the connection? Well, with Up the Stairs, I'm reacting to horror films that I watched while doing the elliptical or the Stairmaster at the gym. I still have a long way to go, but I am over 100 pounds down, and I hope you'll watch with me as I become a smaller and more fit me. This week, I'm reacting to the 2020 horror film, The Cleansing Hour. So this is my spoiler-free plot summary. So The Cleansing Hour follows Max, a charismatic but fraudulent priest, as in he's not a priest at all. He's just pretending to be a priest. And his business partner, video tech guy Drew, they produce live-streamed exorcisms, and they're trying to build this online empire. Now, these stage performances draw a huge audience, but during one broadcast, things take a terrifying turn when the possessed subject starts showing signs of a real demonic presence. Now, with their lives and other secrets from their past on the line, Max and Drew and the rest of his team must confront the horrifying truth behind the possession as chaos unfolds on and off camera. Now, I can no longer promise that the rest of this video will be spoiler-free, so I will say that this film is excellent if you like horror, especially demonic horror. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. But from here on out, we are talking spoilers. So let's talk about some of the themes that showed up in this film, as well as some social commentary. As I was kind of watching this film, I realized there are about 5 different themes that jumped out at me. There may be more, but one was the corruption of fame and greed. Max, who is not a priest, in fact, one of our very early scenes in the film is him using his social media fame to pick up women and do very non-priestly things with them. And I'll also be honest, and I say this as, you know, I'm a religious person. I actually find the thought of someone staging exorcisms a lot more likable and palatable than like your average family vlogger who are exploiting their children in disgusting, just vile ways. I follow zero family bloggers. I think the Duggars are a prime example of that. They didn't really vlog. They got a TV show, but they are the most disgusting, corrupt group of people I've ever seen. The Duggar parents are monsters, in my opinion. And some guy who's pretending to be a priest to pick up chicks and make money, I find that to be much better. Like, he's a better person than your average adult Duggar. The corruption of fame and greed, that is a real theme in this film. I think faith and redemption is also a pretty big part of this. So the story delves into some characters' struggle with faith, but not religious faith, but belief in themselves and others. And more specifically, is redemption even possible, especially for those who have deeply compromised their morals? And we see this a little bit with Drew. We see this quite a bit with Max, but there's some real wrestling with, can you redeem yourself from actions? And the film hits it pretty hard, pretty aggressively. Another thing is the power of secrets. So the demon who allegedly shows up on camera, you know, this demon exploits hidden truths and personal guilt, revealing how secrets can destroy relationships and lives. I think there's also something to be said about the spectacle of suffering. So this film critiques the voyeuristic tendency of modern audiences who consume content for entertainment without considering the real world consequences. So as we're watching this film, we literally see a count of how many people are watching this actual exorcism, which isn't really an exorcism, this demonic attack unfold. The global audience, they're both a witness, and ultimately by the end, they're a participant. They're a victim even in this unfolding chaos. That just kind of makes me think of like our 24-hour news cycle, which between that and social media, I think are 2 serious problems. And I realize I am on social media right now. So, I don't like to see real people suffer, but I know there are some people who do. And I think this film has something to say about that. And then lastly, just this film has a lot to say about the nature of evil. So I'm going to talk about her a little bit more in a bit. But the actress who plays Lane, she did such a phenomenal job of playing the demon. Like, truly, it was almost like it was a different character. It was, but a different, almost physical person even, between playing Lane and then playing the demon.
Submit now, demon. It's not gonna work. To God's word. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not.
It's not gonna work.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of...
Max, it's not gonna work! You can't just read random Bible verses.
There's specific rites for each demon.
You talk a big game for someone who picks on an innocent girl.
Nobody's innocent.
You're a bully. A coward who picks on the weak. This isn't why people tune in. You tune in to see good prevail. To see your kind defeated.
So defeat me.
Forgive them, Lord. They know not what they do.
God made them this way. Must be part of his plan.
What do you know of God's plan other than how to corrupt it?
I was there when he wrote it.
Let's talk about the special effects and the scares. I thought the special effects were pretty solid. They were gross in the right way, bloody without being too over the top, too fake looking. I enjoyed them. Honestly, the possession scenes to me were way scarier than any of the jump scares, and there are some jump scares in this. There's one scene where Max has to reach into Lane's throat and pull out something, so his hand is fully in her mouth while she is possessed, and it's so clear to the viewer that he's about to get horribly bitten. I'll say that the film did not do what I was expecting, which was just a great twist that I really liked. You have to watch. It didn't do exactly what I was expecting. It did almost what I was expecting. And I think there is a lot that has to be said for the sound. The audio design really helps to amp up the tension, from the whispers to the growls and the screams and the crashings and explosions. It was a great bit of sound design. Now, as far as my personal reaction to this film, it's honestly one of my top 10 favorite horror films right now. It's one I'll be buying a hard copy of because I want to be able to watch this if it leaves streaming. In addition, the director left a director's commentary on the DVD, and I always enjoy that, so I want to hear a bit about, what that was like filming. Now, the ending, super spoilers here, but with everyone being influenced by Satan to become murderers, I loved it. So I love it when a film gives us sort of a happy ending for our characters, but then the real horror continues going on during the credits, and it literally continues during the credits. So make sure you watch some of the credits, because you'll see like newspaper headlines and news feeds, which is really great. I love that when the horror doesn't end with the film. And then the twist, so the little boy that we see watching the live stream through so much of the film, we learn that this little boy is the president's son, who then goes on, and we see it off screen, but it happens. It's not like it happens in the credits. It happens during the film. We see him go murder his father, the president, in the White House. It just, that one gave me cold chills. It was just fantastic. So my rating for this film, 9 out of 10. Almost perfect. I so greatly enjoyed it. If you like your horror with a little bit of a religious slant to it, I recommend you check this one out. I hope you enjoyed hearing me talk about this film. I loved watching it. It was fantastic to exercise to. I loved everything about it. I hope you will as well. I'm not sure what my next film will be, or even when I'll do another one of these videos, but I do hope this becomes a regular feature, so we'll see. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your support. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time.